is true success in life, when you become part of somebody else's testimony. I want to talk to you about taking your business and your life to the next level. Success in business and success in life is greatly dependent upon our ability to influence others in a positive way.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Ability to Influence. And I am so excited about today's guest. She is a speaker, she is a coach, she is an author, and she is an attorney, both on the criminal side and in the family law area. So without any further ado, are you ready for some nuggets from this amazing woman? Please help me welcome Shiobhan Olivero.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for having me today.
I am so excited about this interview because you and I have known each other for quite a while now. We've worked together on a very high level, doing some really, really cool stuff together. And I know what you bring to the table. So I know that everybody that's listening to this or watching this today is going to be blessed. I want to jump right into this with you. And, you know, one of the things that you, Shiobhan, speak a lot on is confidence. And I love the story that you tell about how you came to realize how you found your confidence and how you came to realize what it was that was actually holding you back for so long. So I want to have you share that story with everybody. You know, first and foremost, how important is confidence and how did you get to that place where you were able to find your voice?
Hmm. Well, first, I think that confidence is one of the most important things that you need to have when you're and just in life, no matter what you're doing. So not even in anything specific, just in life, right? The more confident you are, and confidence doesn't mean egotistical or
Right,
any of those negative terms. Confidence
right,
just means the ability to just to do what the things that you want to do and to do it well and to know your value, know your worth, and to know that you can bring something to the table no matter what you're doing and where you're going. And so I think it's one of the most important traits that we have. And if it's something that somebody's struggling with, then certainly one of the first things that we need to work on in helping them build and helping them find and helping them get back to. Um, so how did I find it? Well, um, there's a couple of different little stories that go along with that. So, um, I the shorter version of that from where I noticed it is that I was married very young. I got married at 20, and I had my son at 22, and didn't realize at that time in the marriage that I was in that it was a marriage that was holding me back and
mm,
suppressing me from the things that I wanted to do and not allowing me to fulfill my life and the things that I wanted to do. And
right,
when my son was 4 years old, I remember sitting on the couch and I was crying. I was unhappy in my marriage and unhappy with life and unhappy the way everything was. And, my 4 year old crawled into my lap and said, "Mom, don't cry. Everything's going to be okay."
mm,
And
mm,
that was my turning point for me. I said,
right,
he deserves to see me happy. He deserves to see me do the things that I want to do. And, at that point in time, my husband at the time wouldn't let me go to law school, which is the thing that I always wanted to do for me. I
mm,
always wanted to go to law school and be a lawyer. And so I left ultimately and I divorced him and I went to law school as a single mom when my son was 6 years old. So, taking a 6 year old in tow to law school classes with me and ultimately went and fulfilled something that I always wanted to do and wanted to become. And in doing that and in accomplishing things that you want to do, you naturally start to build confidence and find who
right.
you are and find that in yourself. So,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now you obviously, you made a big life change there, which takes a lot of courage as well, right? And but we talk about your confidence. There was a situation as you started to really do a lot of personal development. That was one of the key things. I know that you're talking a lot about that in your book, the importance of personal development and how important that is to your growth and being successful, not only in business, but in life as well. But in that personal growth that you went through, you came to a realization that there was something that had happened to you in your childhood. And when you told me this story at first, I was like, really? But it makes complete sense. Tell everybody this story because I love when you tell this story.
So yeah, I know what story you're talking about. So in the world of personal development, Steve, as you know, in case there's anybody listening who doesn't know, we start to develop things in our subconscious by the time we're about 7 or 8 years old, right? So the things that are
Right.
happening to us as we're a kid, and the things that we're learning, the things that are developing, start to get embedded in our subconscious after about 7 to 8 years old. So as I started to really think back in the world as I was going through personal development to go, where in the world do all these issues come from? Why do I have no confidence? Why do I have no self-esteem? Why do I not have, a sense of self-worth and that I bring value to the table? And where did all this start? You have to start to go back to your childhood and go, what were those things that happened? Where did that initially come from? And for me, I just remembered a time when I was right around that age, 7 or 8 years old, and as a kid, I would never pull my own teeth when they were loose, right? I was a big wuss. I hated pain. I was scared of pain. So I would never pull my own teeth. So my dad would pull my teeth for me. So when I was a kid. But this particular loose tooth that I had, I was sitting in the chair. My dad was working on pulling the tooth, but the tooth wasn't coming out, and it was really really painful. And I, screaming and crying and begging my dad to stop. And of course, yeah, parents as they do, and with of course all out of love, we're like, you're overreacting.
Yeah,
Stop. It's not
stop.
that bad. Yeah.
You're being dramatic.
Exactly. You're being overly dramatic. It can't be that bad. Just knock it
Right.
up. We don't want to hear it. All those things that they say. And ultimately, when the tooth was pulled, this baby tooth had a root on it that was, about this long. It was a really long root that was on it, which, really just kind of a fluke abnormality. And, um, and so, obviously my dad felt terrible and he apologized, like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And so then the next loose tooth that I had, they took me to the dentist because they didn't want the same thing to happen, wanted to make sure everything was okay. And ultimately, as I was sitting in the dentist chair, I went into, just from what I remember, of course, just full on panic attack. I was
Wow.
terrified, terrified of what was going to happen with this tooth being pulled, terrified of the pain that was about to come, terrified that I couldn't say that I was going to be in pain. And, I couldn't, and I just went into full, like, uncontrollable shaking. And ultimately, they numbed me and pulled the tooth, and everything was fine. But as I looked back to go, where did all these things come from? That's the first instance that I can go back into my life to go. That's the first time I remember really being told, to where it internalized it, to go, I don't have a voice. I can't
Wow.
say what I need to say. I can't say what's going on. I can't say that what's bothering me. And you don't, that doesn't obviously come to light as a
Right.
7 or 8 year old. That's all those things get buried into your subconscious. And as I've started to do that personal development and look back in my life, I noticed the trend of that going with me.
Right.
I stayed suppressed. I stayed down, like, I didn't have a voice and I couldn't say the things that I needed to say, and in turn developed no confidence in myself.
Wow. Wow. It's crazy because obviously, like you mentioned, we have these struggles in lives. We have these hangups, these lack of confidence, this lack of belief in ourselves, etc. And it always goes back to the childhood, almost in most cases. And as you go back and you start to dig, a lot of people come across either some really, really traumatic experience, abuse, or something like that. So when you told me that it happened in the dentist chair with the tooth being pulled, at first I was like, but it makes complete sense. And I think it's key simply because it doesn't have to be necessarily some form of crazy abuse or some situation like that. It could simply be a situation like yours where something happened in life that may not be a big deal to the rest of the world. You got your tooth pulled, right?
Right.
Um, but to you in that moment, it was a big deal. And I think it's important for everybody to recognize that and know that, there might be something in their past that, if you're listening to this right now, there may be something in your past that affected you in a way that's still affecting you today. There wasn't really a crazy, crazy experience that everybody in society would go, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened to you." It could just be something that affected your confidence or affected you in some negative way. Um, but you definitely got your confidence back because you're kicking butt, you're taking names, you're out there speaking, you're writing a book. I know you're killing it in your attorney business as your business as an attorney as well. One of the things that you focus on, obviously you do criminal law. So if any of y'all are listening to this or watching this right now and you got warrants, you definitely need to reach out to her and get that taken care of.
Absolutely.
Any pending charges or anything like that, y'all need to get in touch with Shiobhan immediately. But you also do a lot in the family law, and I know that you've really just over the past year have made some pivots in your business. It's been a crazy year, COVID-19. A lot of businesses have been affected. I know you're doing a lot of your court cases now and your court meetings. You do a lot of those virtually. You're meeting with the judge, you're meeting with clients virtually, and all that kind of stuff. But what you're also doing is you're also creating some opportunity, not only for your business, but for the masses as well. When it comes to some of the stuff that you do, like you just launched a course, which is a divorce workshop, where you actually filmed a bunch of videos going over the key things that people need to know when they're considering divorce, thinking about divorce, some of the legal, financial, emotional aspects of divorce, just really important stuff for people to know before they go into divorce, if they're even thinking about divorce, or actually if they're like they've made up their mind to go do that, right? Talk a little bit about your course and what you created there.
So the course that we created, Steve, is exactly what you talked about. It's meant for somebody who's just thinking about it. Maybe you don't know if it's the right thing for you to do yet, and you're kind of thinking about it, not sure what all is going to be involved in the divorce, or somebody has filed for a divorce and now you're sitting there and not sure what to do, or you're right in the middle of it and things are going, and it's going to answer all the questions that you have. So we brought in an attorney, which is me, of course, in the divorce course. I also brought in a certified divorce financial planner and a certified divorce coach. So we cover everything from the legal to the financial to the emotional aspects of divorce, everything from A to Z in a divorce that you could cover. And, we give a general overview of what the law is in a divorce, what is considered in a divorce, what is legally addressed in a divorce versus what's not legally addressed in a divorce. And then, of course, financial planning, both before, during, and then after the divorce. You're coming into a whole different time after a divorce, and what those financial plans need to look like. What can you really afford? What can you do? What do you need to start budgeting for? And then how do you deal with the emotions as you're going through it and afterwards? And how do you help your kids deal with the emotions? And so it's really a great course, that just it covers everything that you could possibly want to know about. And hopefully I people find it valuable, and I hope that they, listen to it, and, always can contact for any questions that you have afterwards.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, divorce is not something that we advocate, obviously, but it's sometimes it's there's no other choice, and it's if you're in that position and you need some answers. I've seen the course. I've gone through the course actually because you and I work together on it, but it's definitely very, very informational. So where can they go to access the course?
So the course is online, and it is at divorceworkshopfl for Florida.com. So they can go in there and find the course and access it. And it is on a sale right now for $47. So it will not be at that price for very long. So
Right.
that's where they can go and get it. And it's worth way more than that for the amount of information and value that's in it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So go to divorceworkshopfl.com if you want to check out that course. I want to talk to you about your speaking, okay? Because you have, I've been working with you for the past year. I know you were part of my Speak Like a Boss boot camp and almost won the thing, right? and you are speaking on confidence, which is key. You know, as I'm out there and I'm working with people and coaching and all of that, one of the biggest issues that most people have is with that right there. It's that belief in self, it's that self confidence, and it's what's holding most people back. And you speak on that a lot. Now, you're also writing a book right now. And I know that confidence is one of the big things that you touch on in that book as well. So,
Yeah.
talk a little bit about your book that's going to be coming out pretty soon.
Um, well, yeah, the book is going to be all about finding your confidence and finding your voice. Those are the two things that I think they go hand in hand, right?
Right.
We don't use our voice when we don't feel confident, and so they go hand in hand. And so it's going to tell a little bit of more of my story than what I've told here today. So it really dives into that, and then what I did to overcome that, how I found my voice and my confidence, and then also we'll give a few tips and tricks on what you can do to help build your confidence up. So,
Yes, and it's gonna be a powerful book. I know because I am reading it as we go, right?
yes.
So I can tell you guys firsthand that this book is gonna be a powerful book, so you wanna keep an eye out for that. Now, I was so impressed with your speaking. I was so impressed with the level that you're going to, and you're doing a lot of really cool things. You're being interviewed on people's podcasts, just like you are right now. But you're jumping on podcasts all over the place. People, you're in high demand right now. People wanting you to get on, share some of your expertise, share some of your knowledge, all of that good stuff. And so I wanted to jump on that bandwagon, right?
Right.
And we have an upcoming event. I have an event called Profit from Speaking where I teach everybody how to make money from speaking, how to line up more speaking opportunities, how to position themselves, how to create their presentations, what they should be talking about when they're out there speaking, how to get more of those speaking opportunities, and ultimately how to make money from sharing their stories and from presenting that content that we go over and help them to develop. So it's been one of our most powerful seminars. And this year we're doing it virtually. We're doing it online. We know a lot of people are still not ready to come out yet. So we opted to do it virtually. We're actually limiting it to 100 people. And I'm excited to announce that you are going to be one of the guest speakers for this virtual Profit from Speaking seminar that's going to take place on November 13th. How are you excited about this? What does this opportunity mean to you?
I am super excited about it, Steve, and so grateful that I get to be a part of this with you. So thank you for having me as a guest speaker. It means so much to me that I get to not only share, a stage with you and someone that I look up to, but that I also get to share my story and help somebody else and hopefully help somebody overcome, the that confidence that they're struggling with. Because, if you're not going to profit from speaking if you don't have any confidence when you're speaking.
That's
So
right. You know, glossophobia is that fear of public speaking. And I know that you're going to have a session that day at the Profit from Speaking seminar where you're going to be talking about how to overcome that glossophobia, how to, get that confidence to go up there and crush it from the front of the room. So I know it's going to be something that everybody needs to attend. Y'all need to get there. Again, it's limited to 100 seats. So y'all better go get registered for that now at stevehopperevents.com. Shiobhan, I'm going to ask you this like I ask most of the guests that I have on the show. What do you think, in your expertise, all your knowledge, all of your experience, everything that you bring to the table, what would you say is the one key thing? I think I already know the answer, but what would you say is the one key thing that one key quality that somebody must possess if they want to have the ability to influence other people?
well, I think you do know the answer, Steve. We've been talking all around it all morning long. And of course, that's confidence, right? Confidence really drives everything that we do or everything that we don't do, right? So,
Right.
um, one of the things when I'm talking to people, when I'm coaching people about it, I always say that confidence is, um, I equate it to our self integrity. Right?
Mm,
Having self confidence is having self integrity, and we lose our self confidence when we don't keep our promises to ourselves,
mm.
right? And keeping that integrity. So to be able to do the things that you need to do, and when I work with people and I see people who are struggling with confidence issues, it's a lot of that is the self integrity issues. They're feeling down, they're feeling hopeless, but they're also not keeping the things, their own word to themselves and what they say they're going to do. If you say you're going to get up at 5 a.m. and work out and you don't, you lose a little bit of confidence in yourself in the day. So
Ooh,
keeping the things that you say to yourself and your self commitments is one of the key things you can do to help build up your confidence. So I'll give you a little, that's my little tip, so you can look for more when we speak together in
wow.
November. But it confidence is key. Absolutely.
Wow. Wow. Powerful. Powerful stuff. All right. Where else can they go to connect with you? We gave them the divorce workshop link. They know about stevehopperevents.com, so they can go register for Profit from Speaking. And before I jump off of that, guys, we're only charging $19 for this seminar on November 13th. So you definitely need to go check this out. Take one of those 100 seats. But where else can they go, Shiobhan, to connect with you?
They can find me. I am all over social media on all of the platforms there. So you can find me at, Shiobhan Olivero on Facebook, or Olivero Law, or SOS Speaks on Facebook. I'm on Instagram on all of those as well. Olivero Law, SOS Speaks, CS Olivero, and I'm on LinkedIn, Shiobhan Olivero Attorney. So that is where they can go and find me. Or you can send me an email at info@oliverolaw.com.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, everybody, make sure you go and connect with her. She is definitely an influencer. And guys, I want to thank y'all so much for jumping in today. Just remember, our success in business and life is greatly dependent upon our ability to influence others in a positive way. So go out there today, make an impact in somebody's life, and influence them in a positive way. God bless you guys, and we will see you soon.
That is true success in life, when you become part of somebody else's testimony. I want to talk to you about taking your business and your life to the next level. Success in business and success in life is greatly dependent upon our ability to influence others in a positive way.